What's up, everybody, and welcome to Salsa Sports. It's
Yes.
me, your host, Ted Boncho, and this is my co-host, Dropkick Penny Kenny.
What?
Um,
Oh man.
but
Where
no,
have we
I,
been? Where have we been? I thought the
I,
podcast was over.
oh yeah, it is. We're not even here right now.
Maybe we were never here to begin with.
I think you're on to something, and you're starting to scare me, to be honest.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, no. Sorry we haven't put any podcast episodes out. I know Sticky's been real busy. I've been in the process of moving, so it's been kind of difficult to record podcasts.
Why, why,
Um,
why don't you tell them what I've been busy doing? Tell them.
well,
Oh, fine, I'll tell them. I've been
thank you.
busy trying to become an empanada master. Master all four empanada elements and become the empanada avatar. That's what I've been
Yeah,
doing.
you see, that's why I couldn't say it because that's painful.
I've been watching Avatar, okay? Well, I finished watching Avatar. Really good show.
Proud of you.
Thank you. I'm still not watching My Hero, though.
We'll get into how you disappoint me later. But
Okay.
but today we thought it would be a fun little podcast episode if we talked about some of our unpopular hip hop takes. Uh,
Yes.
we're going to start by doing some of our own takes, and then we had a Twitter post up that actually brought you guys in, so we're also going to be doing some of y'all's takes. And if you guys wanted to interact with us at all, you can always reach out to us on our individual Twitter accounts. Mine is at Views of Phoenix, and then I believe Sticky's is at Mr. Mediocre underscore YT.
Yes, sir.
And then we also have a Twitter account for our podcast where it's Broad Entertainment Pod. Or actually, no, how I mess up the Twitter I
Uh,
created.
uh,
It's
broad
at
and. Wait, what is it? Hold on.
it's Broad ENT Pod.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how I messed that up because I was looking at that a lot. But anyway,
Honestly, we need to be more active on that.
yeah, I know we've only sent out like 6 tweets. But anyway, let's get into some of our unpopular hip hop takes. Would you like to go first, or did you want me to start with one of mine?
It doesn't matter. I could go. I'm gonna start off with a one that a lot of people are gonna disagree with me, and I feel like a lot of people are gonna talk mess to me about this one, and that is Travis Scott is so overrated. He's so overrated. I mean, I'm not saying he's bad. I'm not saying I don't like him. I actually like Travis Scott, but people out here are acting like he's Kendrick Lamar, like he's Kanye West, like he's this walking living legend. No, he's just not. Astroworld was a mid album. I'll give him Rodeo. Rodeo was good, but Astroworld wasn't that good. And I feel like maybe it's because I'm from the Houston area, so like Travis Scott's from Houston, so you have to love Travis Scott. But personally, like I'm not all that impressed by Travis Scott. What do you think?
To be completely honest with you, I 100% agree. Um, I'm not a fan of Travis Scott's music at all. It's not my taste. I'm not saying he's like trash or anything like that, of course, and I know you're not either. But people I see bringing him up in the same conversation as all-time greats. Like I've seen people compare him with Jay-Z all time. I've seen people compare him with Kendrick. I just can't see him in that light. To
Yeah.
me, for this generation, I think he's good, but I don't think you can put him in the conversation with like the all-time kind of rappers. So
Mm-mm.
I understand completely and I agree. Um, I've actually caught shit on my Twitter for saying the same thing. because I said that I think it was he didn't have any great songs.
Oh.
So I said he had good songs, but not great. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. So got him a little hot water for that.
Yeah,
Um,
he has a bunch of fans, so like if their fans find this podcast, then we're gonna get criticized quite a bit.
you guys don't even do research. You need to actually look into Travis Scott because you don't know what you're talking
You need
about.
to go to Rap Genius and read the lyrics.
But okay. Um, my first uh my first unpopular take. Uh I feel like this is unpopular. I know there is a group that agrees with me on this, but this is something I'm pretty adamant about. Um Tupac's only considered in most people's top 3 rappers because he got killed. He was a good rapper for his time, but I don't even have him as a top 10 rapper all time. And again, I'm not saying he's a trash artist. I'm not saying he wasn't lyrically great or anything like that, but I can't put him in the same conversation as a Biggie Smalls, Jay Z. I can't have him in those songs.
Damn. Okay, look, I agree with that. I was agreeing with you up until the point where you said I don't even have him in the top 10. I think he's definitely top 10 because like the influence he's had, like through the years, like younger generation type of stuff. I mean, Polo G even like had a song
Well,
sampling his song whatever. But I agree. Like I agree in a way because like you said, I think Biggie is way better than Pac. But if you look at everyone's like top 5 list, top 10 list, who do you see at the very top? Tupac. Most of the time you see Tupac, and I don't think Tupac belongs up there.
I don't either. But again, I'm not saying he's trash or anything like that. I think he's a good ass rapper. I really do. But I just don't see him in that light. And the reason I said not top 10, I do have him high on my list, but if you really think about it, you can name 10 rappers who are lyrically great, have hits, and have influenced the culture.
Tekashi 6ix9ine. I'm sorry.
Sometimes I question you. You know this?
Yes, you've told me before. You've said some very mean words to me before. Anyways, okay, I think I'm gonna go with some a lot of the older people are gonna disagree with. Hip hop right now is better than ever. I hear a lot of like older people talk about, oh, hip hop these days sucks. All this stuff you hear on the radio sucks. Okay, look, here's the thing. Hip hop has grown so much that you can find what you're looking for. You want some of that stuff that's comparable to Tupac and, Biggie, Nas? You go listen to Kendrick Lamar, you listen to J. Cole, you listen to Joey Badass. Or if you want some turn up music, you turn on the radio. Listen to all these guys that are playing on the radio right now, all these newer rappers. And there's even some up and coming rappers as well, like Polo G, Roddy Rich, that talk about, conscious stuff. So it's not all just turn up music. It's not just all Lil Uzi Vert and all that stuff. I think hip hop now is better than ever because you can find what you want. You want chill music? Guess what? Juice World. Isaiah Rashad. Like, you can find anything. And I think it's better than ever. I know a lot of older people are going to disagree, but that's just how I feel.
No, I'm gonna be honest. I agree. I hear it all the time how, oh, rap is horrible. The 90s were the last good point in rap. But you look at it and there are so many different artists that can give you so many different things. Like I have playlists on Spotify with majority rap artists giving me multiple different sounds. So I have a playlist where it's got melodic rap, where it's more the slow paced, kind of even keeled rap, where I have guys like Kendrick in there slowing it down. I like there are so many different facets of rap, and this is what makes me love it. Rap has evolved to the point where it's not just one sound. It used to be like one or two different styles with like a different flow
Yep.
put
West
on
Coast
there.
versus East Coast.
Yeah, it had stuff like that, but at this point, we have different rap for different states.
Mm-hmm.
Like, think about it. Like, there's Cali rap, Memphis rap, Florida rap, there's New York rap. Like,
Chicago.
yeah, like there is rap for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So I can 100% agree with that. And I know a lot of people won't because they'll be like, well, what about guys like Lil Yachty? And I'm like, okay, you got me on that one. He's trash. But
But I mean, I feel like in any generation you look for, you're gonna find those trash rappers. Like, I'm sure you can find them if you go back in the '90s. I'm pretty sure you'll find a trash rapper in that era.
oh, I promise I can. I can name a couple actually. But but yeah, no, I definitely understand where you're coming from with that. I feel like some people might not, but I really do think we're at a peak, like a new peak for rap music. Um, so my next one, uh, this one might upset some people, might not. I don't really know because it's kind of 50-50 with them. My next hot take is going to be J. Cole shouldn't even be considered like at all, even if it's at the end. He shouldn't even be considered as a top 25 rapper. I could understand if you wanted to say top 25 talent, but as a rapper all time, I've seen him as high as 7, and I think that is absolutely insane. If like I said, if you want to argue he's like top 50 all time, okay, I'll listen to your arguments. But to put him in the top 25 when he really only has one great album, in my opinion at least, I think that's just insane.
I'm gonna have to agree. I think J. Cole is one of the most overrated artists in this generation. I'm not saying he's bad. I like him, but
Oh,
I
neither
feel
am I.
like
Yeah.
his fans overrate him to the point where like he's intolerable. Like obviously he puts on an album, I'll listen to it. He's like one of the few guys that I will stay up for and listen to his album. But like J. Cole, he is not on the level of these top tier rappers. He's not better than Kendrick, and honestly, I don't think he's better than Joey Badass either. I think Joey Badass is like behind Kendrick. I don't think it's J. Cole. I don't think it's J. Cole and Kendrick. I think it's Kendrick and Joey. And
See, I got to disagree with that one. Because, like I was saying in my point, I'm not putting him as a top rapper all time or anything like that. But he is a top 25 talent. Like, the man has the talent.
oh yeah,
But
definitely
for
does.
me, for me, rapper means more than just talent. Because there are a lot of talented dudes who rap.
J Electronica.
I'm not even gonna get into him. I still ain't forgive him for that fucking
The
album.
Jay-Z album.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, no. Cole is one of the most talented people I've seen. But I I can't give him top rapper
uh,
status when half of his songs don't have replay value.
Look, here's the thing though. I feel like J. Cole is one of those guys, and this happens to a lot of rappers. Like they can put out good singles, but when it comes to crafting a good album, they just can't do it. He's done it once, Forest Hills Drive, but I mean everything else is like mid, because like I mean, I'm sorry. I know a lot of people love this album, but what's it called? For Your Eyes Only. That album is a snooze fest. Like, I understand the message. The message is nice and all. But here's the thing. I don't think you can sacrifice sound for lyrics. You just can't. You gotta find the perfect balance to craft the perfect album. And I don't think he
Oh,
does that very
agreed.
well.
Agreed. And I feel like I'm gonna catch a lot of flack for saying that kind of stuff because I know he has a huge fan base. And again, I'm not calling him trash. I'm a J. Cole fan. I listen to all his stuff.
Oh yeah, I love J. Cole. I mean, I was over there defending him on Twitter when he got into that beef with that one chick. Like, I love J. Cole, but
Yeah,
he's
so do
not
I.
he's not that great.
But again, I can't put him there. All right, let's hear your next one.
All right,
I'm interested
I'm
for
gonna
this.
stay on J. Cole for a bit because I also have a J. Cole one, and I feel like you're gonna agree with this one. J. Cole going platinum with no features isn't impressive at all, and honestly, I feel like it kind of makes his music whack in a way because like you could easily add in like like anyone else, a J.I.D. to your album, and it would probably make your songs better. And here's the thing: you're telling me that if Drake dropped an album with no features, he wouldn't go platinum? We know Drake would go platinum. If Kendrick does it, he's going platinum. If Kanye does it, he's going platinum. If Lil Uzi Vert does it, he's going platinum. Like if anyone that's has a pretty big fan base drops an album with no features, they're going platinum. Eminem, he's going platinum. Travis Scott, he's going platinum. You know, like it's not impressive, and I feel like you're taking away from what you could be doing with your albums. Like you could add in like a verse from a very talented artist, and your album for that song is better, thus making your album better.
No, I agree. And I know we've agreed on most of these, and this is supposed to be hot takes, but no, I completely understand where you're coming from, and I agree with it. Because I mean, the platinum with no features thing isn't something that's crazy. Uh, it's uncommon. I'll say that because most people at least have a couple features, but it's not impossible to do. And people, I feel like, give it that status of, oh, nobody else could do this but J. Cole. He's
Yeah.
that great. Nobody could do it.
And the
When
thing
in
is, like,
reality,
the first time he did it with Forest Hills Drives, okay, that's cool. But then he did it again with For Your Eyes Only. Then again with what's it called? KOD, I think it was called his last
I
album.
think that's it.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the first time it was cool. The second time, it's a little corny. The third time, okay, buddy, it's getting dumb. Just have some features on your album.
But yeah, I mean, the reality of it is, I understand he might not want to collaborate with people, but if it's something your fans want and something that might give it more replay value, then I don't understand why you would keep pushing this only by myself act and just, make your music potentially worse. Because
Okay,
you can't tell me if he didn't put J.I.D. on some songs, he didn't put Joey Badass in there. I mean, even if he didn't want to work with people like that, he could put people from Dreamville more on his
yeah.
albums, promote his brand.
And here's the thing too. Like I feel like J. Cole raps a whole lot better when he's rapping with someone else. Like when he's on a feature. I mean, that song with J.I.D. Was it Off These? And then there's
Yeah.
that song with Black Six Lack. That's what everyone calls him. But Black, what's it called? I don't know what it's called, but like it's like a slower song. I love his verse on there. That song
Even
with Young Thug, like
even his song with 21
oh
Savage,
yeah,
a
a lot,
lot.
yeah,
That's one of my favorite verses from him ever.
yeah. Like it brings out a better J Cole, and I think he should be utilizing that more.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. Um, my next one, I put this in for you,
Yes,
but
let's go,
this is something I believe.
let's go. Give it to me.
And so this take is Andre 3000 shouldn't even be a top 50 rapper all time.
Oh, my whole chest.
Yeah. I really believe this too. I will die on this hill. Because I tried to get into Andre 3000. I really did. But when I go and play some of his songs, it puts me to sleep. Like his discography is extremely weak in my opinion, especially compared to the other people who would be in that top 50. Like, be honest. Would you put his discography in the same conversation as, let's just say, Ghostface?
ATLiens is one of the best albums in history. Outkast is one of the most influential groups in hip hop history.
Nah, but I'm talking about just him by himself.
Aquemini. Well, see, the thing is, like,
I'm not looking at Outkast with it.
Well, it's hard to say though, cause like it's always been Outkast. It's always been Andre 3000 and Big Boy. You know, like you never had any solo stuff like that. You know, you didn't have a big enough solo catalog.
To be, at least for me, if I'm putting you as a top 50 rapper of all time, I'm gonna need to see you do it alone.
Okay, I guess I can see where you're coming from, but I love Outkast. Like, Outkast is like one of my favorite things ever, and I feel like we need some more Andre 3000 verses. Like, dude just up and disappeared.
Yeah, no. Again, I'm with these takes, I'm not trashing anybody. Like, I love most of these guys we've talked about, and I love the rest of the people that we're going to be talking about too. So I'm not trying to say he's like, oh, he's whack. He can't make a good song. No, I'm just saying, if I really sat down and tried, I think I could name 50 rappers better than him.
Am I one of them?
I think you are around 51, 52.
All right, I gotta drop my new album. Bump me up a bit.
Braylon on the beat.
Oh, yes. Oh, man. Okay. This one kind of pains me to say, and a lot of people love this label, so they might disagree, but I feel like if you really sat back and thought about it, you would agree. And it is this. Despite being so talented, TDE, that's Top Dog Entertainment, Kendrick Lamar's label, you know, Kendrick Lamar, Schoolboy Q, Absol, J-Rock, SZA, Isaiah Rashad, those guys, despite being so talented, it's one of the worst run labels in hip-hop. Because, when's the last time we had a Kendrick album? 3 years ago. Isaiah Rashad, 4 years ago. SZA, 3 or 4 years ago. Absol, 4 years ago. They're starving the fans. The fans want music. There is no way it takes this long for all these artists to release an album. If I recall, like, it took J-Rock like 5 years to release 90059. Like, his last album, I forgot what it was called. It was like in 2010, and then in 2015 he released 90059. Like, you can't be starving your fans that long. I just don't think you can. I mean, Kendrick, I understand it, I guess. The dude takes ages, but like everyone else, like, come on, dude. At least drop like a little label mixtape like Dreamville's Revenge of the Dreamers, or, you know, singles every now and then. But like, this is outrageous. Like, it's annoying.
Yeah, no. And we've said this for literally every single one so far. I agree with you. Now, Kendrick, in my opinion, gets a pass. One, because everything he drops is great. So I'll give him a pass for that. Plus, when he does take his time, we know it's going to be great. I'd rather him push something back and take 2-3 years to drop than him rush something out in a year and it, like, tarnish his legacy.
Yeah.
So he gets a pass. And I know this is your guy. Guys like Isaiah Rashad need to put something out.
Yeah, like,
They don't. They not that big to get a
Yeah,
pass.
like I love Isaiah Rashad, but for him to gain fans, he has to keep putting out music. Like you can't just like drop an album in 2016, disappear for 4 years. You can't do that because you're not gonna
No,
get fans.
that's not. And like I said, if you're Kendrick level, I'll give you a pass. But when you're still like trying to become known like Kendrick, you better put something out and make some people recognize your talent because he's considered one of the slept on rappers to where if he puts something out, he might not be slept on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not saying he has to do something like every other month or something like that, but I mean, 4 years,
Yeah, that's.
4 years. You're making us wait on you like you're Kendrick? Nah. Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
All right. My next one, it's it's not something that everybody is gonna agree with, but it's not something that everyone else is gonna agree with. Because this person has a huge following, but Nicki Minaj is a great fucking rapper. And
Okay.
I'm not talking just females either. I'm talking just in general, a great rapper.
Okay, like I have like a bias against Nicki Minaj. Like personally, I'm a guy. Nicki Minaj, like usually she makes music for girls. Cardi B, same thing. I don't listen to their stuff. Like I don't want to, hear about fucking Nicki Minaj putting her, what, on my sideburns, like on that bedrock fucking verse, whatever. My issue with Nicki Minaj is she is so petty and annoying that I'm just done with her. I don't know if you recall, she dropped an album, I believe it was 2018 or 2019, when Travis Scott dropped Astroworld, and she got mad that Travis Scott's album got, number one album, and she started making a whole scene like, oh, the only reason you got number one album is because Kylie Jenner and, their little child, or was it Stormy, whatever? Like, she made like a big old deal about it, and I was like, dude, like, just get over it, take your L. Your album came in second place, whatever, that's fine. You don't have to like cause this big old scene. So ever since then, I don't care about Nicki Minaj. I don't like her, like, whatever. I disregard her.
See, I'm not saying she's a great person and that her personality is amazing, but lyrically and like song quality wise, she's great. Now, I don't like her content, like what she raps about, but how she goes about rapping what she wants to rap about, great. There are dudes who could take notes from her.
Honestly, I can't agree or disagree with that because I don't listen to her music. So
I mean, she's not one of those kind of rappers where oh, Nikki dropped something in the podcast right now so I can go listen. That's not going to happen. Like, it's not. But if I'm like, okay, Nikki put something out, let me go listen. I might if I like have time, but I'm not clearing the schedule to listen.
okay, so my next one, I'm gonna go with this one. Hip hop is way too friendly these days. I miss the days where people were at each other's necks. These days, it's just all too friendly. Hey man, let's hop on the same song. I mean, like, the last beef we've had since the Drake Pusha T beef, what, 2 years ago? It was Freddie Gibbs versus DJ Academics. Like, come on, dude. Like, I miss, like, when these rappers were like, at each other's throat. And I'm not, like, talking about, like, shooting and stuff, like, all that violent stuff. I'm talking about, like, lyrically.
Well, I mean, I don't know how heavy you listen to them, but I'm pretty sure Don Toliver and Tory Lanez had beef between those.
Oh, wait. I heard, whose album just dropped? Pop Smoke's album last night. May he rest in peace. Apparently there was a Pusha T verse in there, and he apparently took shots at Drake again, but that song has been removed because apparently like some copyright thing. So I don't know if that's true. I saw it on Twitter this morning, but I mean, whatever. But I want like the big names going at each other. You know, like Kendrick Lamar and Drake. That's what I've been wanting for like the past, I don't know, 2013 Controlverse. Ever since then, that's what I've wanted. The two biggest hip hop dudes going at it. We already know they don't like each other, so like, why not diss each other? I know they've been subliminally dissing each other, but like, escalate it. You know, like Pusha T, Drake level type of stuff.
See, I understand where you're coming from, but we also got to keep in mind the times have changed. With all this cancel culture stuff, you get in a diss battle and you say something too crazy, and next thing you know, you got people boycotting your stuff.
That's true. I mean, just the other day, like I said earlier, you know, they tried to cancel J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar for not sending out a tweet when these guys were out there protesting. Like, come on, dude.
That's exactly my point. So you get into a personal beef publicly, and you say something wild, and the next thing you know, you're going from getting, and this is just an example, no one's number specifically, you go from getting like 300,000 streams to getting 100,000, which hurts your pockets.
Well, that's true,
So,
but you could also buy views, so there's just that too.
I mean, yeah, but if the point is making money, buying views just to get the money to make up for you buying views isn't really productive.
That's true. And I mean, I feel like you can tell when someone buys views. Pretty obvious.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty blatant. It's not really a secret anymore, especially because you can look at everyone's numbers because it's public information.
Yeah. Anyways, well, what's your next one?
Next one I got is 50 Cent's one of the most slept on rappers ever. Because he ushered in the entire era of thug rap. Any trap rap guy now was influenced by 50 Cent. Because you had guys before him who would talk about like having to sell drugs to provide for their family. 50 Cent was talking about it like it was fun.
Yeah, I can agree
And
with
now
that.
everybody does. I mean, 50 Cent was the first person I ever heard talking about how he was going to break into somebody's house, aim a gun at your wife's head, and laugh while she's on the phone crying to you. He's the first person I heard doing stuff like that. And I mean, without 50 Cent, you don't get guys that are top rappers today.
Oh yeah, dude, like I love 50 Cent. Dude's hilarious. He's a troll. I'm a troll. I love him. Obviously, you know, back in like I guess the early 2000s or mid 2000s, 2005 around there, he had all these hits. Like you turn on the radio, all you hear is 50 Cent. And one of my favorite rappers, Schoolboy Q, has actually made it known that 50 Cent is his favorite rapper, and that 50 Cent was a guy that heavily influenced him. Like you were saying, you know, Schoolboy Q is technically a gangster rapper. He talks about that same stuff, you know, so you can see the influence, and that's true. I mean, not many people ever bring up 50 Cent, like when it comes to like top tier rappers or anything like that.
Like 50 Cent is one of those guys where he doesn't have to say anything like too crazy. Like he'll say something kind of tame, but just I think something about when 50 Cent says something, you believe it. And I feel like that helps his music out a lot.
Yeah. And he also has a great smile.
That too. Shout out to you, Curtis.
Okay. I'm gonna go for a big one in this one. Drake hasn't made a good project since, if you're reading this, it's too late. I mean, what
You
a time
said,
to... Huh?
wait, are you saying like his projects between are trash?
Like, ever since then, like, you know, everything before If You're Reading This Too Late is good, but ever since 2015 when he dropped that, everything after is trash. I mean, What a Time to Be Alive with Future, that album, I don't like. A lot of people like it, but I didn't like it.
So
People
you
like,
didn't
oh,
like Views.
okay, look, here's the thing with Views. Views had 20 songs. When it first came out, I hated it. Going back and revisiting it, it's better than I initially thought. I just think that there's a lot of filler on that album. And here's the thing, like a lot of like younger people think, "Oh, this album has 8 good songs. It's a good album." But what about the 12 songs that suck, so I think I would say Views is mid because it has too many songs and a lot of them really shouldn't be on the album. But Views, I definitely like it better than I did before. And I think Views might be his best project since, if you're reading this too late, but, fucking More Life, trash, 22 songs on it, only like 3 or 4 of them are good. And then you had Scorpion.
I like Scorpion though.
Really?
I did. Yeah.
I like God's Plan. I think God's Plan's a beautiful song, and the message behind it. And Can't Take a Joke, love that song off Scorpion. But other than that, I wasn't a fan of it. And then his last album or project, Dark Lane demo tapes, I didn't like that either.
See, Scorpion I really liked. I mean, off the top, and these are just off the top of my head. I'm not able to name every song on there or anything, but the ones that I know for a fact that I loved off that, Nonstop, I love that song. Elevate, God's Plan, I'm Upset, Can't Take a Joke. There are a lot of songs on that album that I really love.
Can't forget Kiki, Do You Love Me?
I never liked that song.
Or Nice for What?
That stupid Kiki song, and what was it, the one he dropped recent, the Tuesday Slide, songs like that I think are stupid, and the songs like that made me mad.
Tuesday Slide, I wasn't too mad at it. It's kind of catchy, but the Kiki, Do You Love Me, I didn't like it. Nice for What? I mean, I can understand the message, but that's a girl song. I'm not a girl, at least I don't think. But yeah. And then you have Ratchet Happy Birthday. Oh, Jesus Christ.
That was,
the worst Drake song ever.
Song.
Oh, God. But I did hear Drake is dropping a new project this year, an actual album. And honestly, I'm always excited for new Drake music because Drake gives us hits. And, the other day on Twitter, I seen this thing, those things they do, there's, a picture of 4 dudes or, 4 things, and, one has to go, the rest can stay. And it was Drake, Lil Uzi, Lil Baby, and I forgot someone else. And majority of people were saying Drake, and I'm like, what in the world? You're really gonna get rid of all these Drake hits through the years? No. I don't know, man.
And this is an unpopular opinion that I just came up with on the spot. We don't have to spend much time on it because it's same topic. But Drake is this generation's Kanye.
Yeah, I could see it.
Both had they both had writers, which is I think well known at this point. Both put out a ton of hits. I do think as an artist all time, if Drake continues to put out hits like he has, he could end up surpassing Kanye. But that's if he can keep it up.
Here's the thing, though. I don't think anyone's ever gonna match Drake's run. I don't think it's gonna happen. I think Drake is just such a genius. Yes, some people might call it culture vulture. I can see where they're coming from. He takes the sound from Jamaica. He takes the sound from over there. He takes sound from the British rappers.
But everybody does that.
Yeah, everyone does that. But
literally
Drake
everyone
takes a sound, makes it his own, and makes it popular. The thing with Drake is constantly evolving. Drake from back then doesn't sound anything like Drake today. I mean, So Far Gone, Houstonish album, early Drake, he had a huge Houston influence, and then he moved on, 2016 Views, he had that Jamaican accent, he had, was it Dance Hall with Controller, love that song, One Dance, love that song, so, Drake is constantly evolving, and that's why I don't think Drake is ever gonna die out until he retires.
Yeah, no, agreed. Easy. Um, are we counting that as one of mine? And do we want to go
Yeah,
to
you
yours
could
or?
you could go, cause we were like on the topic of Drake.
Okay. So my next one, it's somebody you don't really know, but it's one of the newer rappers and it's more current. Uh, Stunna for Vegas is just as good as the baby. Now, I know you don't know a lot about Stunna for Vegas, if anything at all. Uh, Stunna for Vegas is one of the artists that I believe the baby signed. Stunna for Vegas has only really been popular for, I believe, around a year, max 2 years now. But he's put out the same quality as the baby. But the only reason I think he isn't viewed as the same level, to be honest, is marketing. The baby is a great marketer of his own work, and Stunna for Vegas needs the baby to market for him. And I think that's the only real difference. I think if Stunna had the baby's level of marketing, he's easily just as big.
Well, I've never heard of the guy, but yeah, the baby, like, dude, I feel like he drops a bunch of music and like he's just always on the radio, always on like these playlists. Like a lot of people give him stuff for having the same, I guess, flow. But the other day he was with what's his name? I think it was Charlemagne the God, the Breakfast Club. Like they asked him, like, dude, why don't you ever change the flow? He's like, well, because it works, and it's true, it's working. Like, why would he change something that's not broken? You know, like if he's getting all these hits, he's getting all of this. Like, why change it? Like, change it when people get bored of it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Uh, there have been a couple times where the baby has tried to change his flow up, and most of the time, at least the responses I see, I don't know what him and his people are looking at, but the responses I see most of the time when he changes his flow is, "This doesn't sound right. Go back to the other flow," and stuff like that. And I'm like, I understand why he doesn't change it up if every time he
Yeah,
does, people crap on
and
it.
it'd be the same people too. Like the same people, like, oh my god, he never changes his flow, and then he does it.
And
Why'd you
they're
change
like,
it?
"Oh, what? This sounds bad."
Okay, so this one's a big one too. This one hurt a lot of people's feelings, but Kanye West hasn't dropped a good solo project. I'm talking about like good since 2010 when he dropped My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Like, in my opinion, everything he's dropped since then, it hasn't really been all that good. I mean, now Life of Pablo, I think it was average. Like, a lot of people say it's great, but personally, not my cup of tea. Yeezus, ugh. Jesus is King. I mean, some people like that type of music. It's not my cup of tea either. I
Yeah,
mean,
see,
we do have Watch the
see,
Throne, Kids See Ghost as well, but those are not solo.
see. Jesus is King isn't for me. It's more of a churchy type music, and some people love that kind of music, but it's not for me. But I can recognize listening to it that for church music, it's great quality. So I give him a pass on that album. I don't count that one mainly because I have a bias because I don't like that movie, the Jesus is King movie. But no, um, personally, I kind of disagree because at least to me, because your take, if and again, your take was he hasn't put out anything that's good since My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy
Solo project.
solo project. See, I liked the Life of Pablo, big fan of that. Um, I like the Yay album.
Oh, see, I wasn't really counting that because that was like a 7-track album, wasn't it? So that one was
I
decent.
thought it was more than that.
Was it? I
I
don't
think
remember.
I thought it was like
Cause I think that was
12
that was
tracks.
the era. No, I think that was like the little time period where they were putting out like 7-track projects, like Kid Sees Ghost. I think it was 7-track project.
Oh yeah,
The
no,
the
you're
Pusha
right.
T album.
I pulled it up, and it's 7 tracks. So you're
Yeah,
right on that. But I still count that. But yeah, I understand where you're coming from, and I guess it's a matter of opinion. But personally, I think he's had at least two, if we're counting Ye.
I could see it. I mean, I did like the intro to the Life of Pablo, Ultralight Beam. Love that song. Chance was great, and then Chance fell off.
All right, this is the last one I really have because I cut some of mine out because I was under the influence of alcohol when I did something.
How dare you?
You're one to talk. But yeah, this last one I really have, saying Meek Mill is this generation's 50 Cent.
I could see it.
Because I mean, I think in terms of like street music, Meek Mill is the most popular who still does the street thug music like 50 Cent did. At least the biggest artist.
Yeah. And he gets hits too.
Oh yeah, no, Meek Mill's had songs in movies. I'm pretty sure he's got, I think, 3 songs in like the mid 100 millions in
Yeah.
terms of like streams. I know Dreams and Nightmares is, I think, like 150 mil. He's
Iconic.
got he's got Rico with Drake.
He's got a Going Bad with Drake too.
Um There were a couple more, but I'm blanking right now. But anyway, I think he's this generation's 50 Cent.
Okay, look. Meek Mill, when him and Drake were in that little B4 whatever, and Drake dropped what's that song? Back to Back. Meek Mill later on dropped another song, War Pain. I don't know if you ever heard it. I think
I heard it.
that this song was great, and I think if he would have dropped it sooner, I think people would have, kind of sided with Meek Mill, because I think that was a great diss song.
Yeah, no. Meek Meek made a mistake
Yep.
during their beef, which is something you can't do because you make a mistake and the opposition is going to clown you, which is
Hmm.
exactly what happened. Because the initial response, the first response to Drake's back to back, did you listen to that?
Uh, I
I
did
forget the
listen to
title.
it. I did listen to it. I know I listened to it, and I remember. I don't remember anything about it, but I do remember me not liking it and be like, "What the hell? This is trash. He lost."
Because trust me, I listened to it. It was horrible. Like, when I say horrible, I mean on a scale of 1 to 10, it's probably a 2 or a 3.
A logic.
Yep, a logic. Like, have you ever seen the memes on Twitter where it's like when you realize your homeboy's rap career isn't going to get you out the hood and it's people crying? That's how bad that is. Like,
Oh,
it sounds like a SoundCloud rapper's random song.
oh, yeah.
So, like I said, Meek messed up, but I still think he is the guy when it comes to thug rap in this generation.
And now they're best buds.
You see, that's the thing. I don't know if it's just because I'm petty or whatever, but if I beef with you publicly, you dead to me. Like, I ain't gonna go from I smack the shit out of you to come on, bro, hop on this track.
Yeah,
Nah.
I don't know what Drake was thinking there, but I mean, whatever. Okay, here's my last one. A Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole collab album wouldn't live up to the hype. I know a lot of people have been wanting it since like 2012. It's been 8 years, guys. It's not gonna happen, and if it does happen, it's not gonna be what you're expecting. It's not gonna be as good.
Agreed. I don't think their sounds like what they go for when they're making an album. I don't think those sounds work together.
And I feel like, okay, like here's the thing. Like if it's like a little 4 track EP, I think it could work. But like if it's like 8, 12 ish songs, like an actual longer project, I feel like it's just gonna be Kendrick Lamar rapping circles around J. Cole. Like J. Cole might be able to keep up like a few songs, but a whole 12 track project, I just don't see it. I don't see it.
Now, if it comes to who's going to perform better on it, it's easily going to be Kendrick.
Oh yeah.
Um, J. Cole, I do think if they were to do like, let's say, a 10-song album, right? If they were to do that, I do think that the split on verses would be something like 7-3 out of the 10 songs, 7 being Kendrick had the better verse, 3 being Cole. Because I don't think J. Cole is the type of dude where on a 10-track album, he's going to get outperformed on all of them.
Yeah.
I don't see him being that kind of guy. He's not Jay Electronica. Okay.
Okay, so do you want to move on to the fan ones?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
Let's get into it.
Let's go with the first one from Young Airy Gold on Twitter. Great guy. He says Royce the 5'9" is the most polished MC in the history of rap.
Now, for this one, I think we need to get into first, what are we defining as polished?
I guess just like flow, delivery, lyricism, like an all around thing. Sound as well, because sound really matters.
I might agree with it, maybe, but I really have to. This is one of those topics where you'd really have to think about it,
Yeah.
because there are a lot of rappers who have great lyrics, a great sound, replay value, all of the key things, which is what makes doing like a top 50 rappers all time list difficult, because a lot of it is, personal preference. A lot of it is like what kind of sound you like is and things like that. But I could understand if anyone's opinion is Royce being the most polished.
Yeah, and it is definitely an unpopular opinion because, most people would say, no, it's J. Cole. No, it's Kendrick. No, it's Kanye West. So, like, not many people are going to, mention Royce the 5'9" as the most polished MC in the history. So, I mean, I can see where he's coming from.
Like I said, if I really spent, like, let's say I spent a day just thinking about it, I might come out and be like, no, or I still might come back and be yes. It's really tough because, like I said, there are a ton of people who are polished.
Mm-hmm. Lupe, love Lupe Fiasco.
And you almost had a take about him too. So
was it a bad one?
Yeah.
What is it?
I'm not gonna say it. Let's keep going with the fan ones.
Okay. This one's by Texas Born 96. He says Kendrick Lamar is the best rapper ever, encompassing the entirety of musicianship, so not just lyrics, sound, and melodics like other rappers.
See,
I don't feel like that's an unpopular opinion. I feel like a lot of people would agree with that.
Well, see, I don't know if it's just me interpreting it wrong, but based off the wording, it sounds like he was trying to say that Kendrick's just the best musical artist ever. I don't know if I'm interpreting it wrong.
The way I'm seeing it is like how you're saying, but that has come out of the hip hop genre. So I guess like he's putting him up against like a Kanye West.
Well, yeah, I mean, I understand that argument. If he's saying best musical artist, period, absolutely not. But if we're talking about rapper, I think a lot of people would agree with that because I've seen a lot of people saying Kendrick Lamar is easily number one. I've seen people compare him to Michael Jordan of rap.
Yeah.
saying he hasn't had a trash project. He's got a ton of hits, always performs. Like
Hmm.
I've seen that a lot actually. So I don't know if I'd call that a unpopular opinion, but it's something that you could easily have a conversation with.
Yeah, I agree. So I wouldn't. I don't think that's an unpopular opinion, but still, nonetheless, I would agree with it. But
Yeah.
next one. This one comes from Semi. He says Roddy Ricch is the best current melodic rapper that's alive. That's definitely an unpopular opinion.
Yeah, I think it's an unpopular opinion.
I
At
mean,
least right now,
yeah, no,
he's got the
hmm
potential to run hip hop,
yeah, he's very
just like
young.
just like Chance the Rapper did not that long ago. I thought Chance the Rapper would be running hip hop for like a decade and a half, but if he's putting out projects like this last one, I was horribly wrong.
hmm Now, Roddy Ricch, like you said, he has the potential. He's definitely off to a great start. And personally, I do see him becoming like I guess the face of hip hop in the future. But again, like you said, the Chance the Rapper thing, like you never know where these rappers are gonna end up. So I
Yeah,
disagree though. Like there's a lot of rappers out there that are currently better
I mean,
melodically.
personally, and this might be a little bias on my part because I have been a fan of his since his first song. Uh, I think YB and Corday is a better rapper.
Well, he just said melodic, and it's funny because he mentioned that's alive. Because then you'd be
Yeah,
able to say
if we're taking
Juice
people
World.
that are dead, but yeah, no. If we're talking just melodic, I understand. If we're talking just purely rap, no, no.
Okay, so the next one comes from our good friend, Mr. Ed Honcho. He says Jay-Z is overrated.
I cannot agree with that one.
Me neither.
I think that is the epitome of an unpopular take.
I've never seen anyone say Jay-Z is overrated. Like an all around like Jay-Z, like he's been around since what 1994 ish, something like that.
Somewhere around
And
there.
like his last project, he
I
dropped
think
what
his first,
444. Like,
I think his first album was like '98. I think, but I mean, like just to name a couple. The first one that comes to mind, uh, "Run This Town," "Empire State of Mind,"
oh, Empire State of
"No
Mind, I love that
Church in the
song.
Wild." Um,
The
there
story of
were a
OJ, dude, I love that song off his last
Oreo
album.
J, yep, yep. Young Forever. That's one of my personal favorites.
Oh, uh,
Um,
dude, that song
trying
with
to
Eminem, Renegade,
Renegade. That's a great one.
Dead Presidents.
99 Problems.
Oh
I don't
yeah.
know how I forgot that one. Um, let's see. I mean, there's a ton more
Oh, did
that
you
I'm
ever
sure
like
I'm.
that one song with Justin Timberlake? What was it, Holy Grail? I think no, not Holy Grail. Was it? I forgot what it's called. But I love that song. I think it was. I forgot what album it was. I think it was like back in 2013. But yeah,
Yeah, no,
no.
I can't agree.
Me
And I
neither.
think
Had
that is the epitome of an unpopular opinion because I think he's got one of the best purely rap discographies. I think he's top 10 when it comes to discographies.
yeah, and like he's been doing it for a while too. So
Damn near, I think
two
just a
going
little
on
bit
three
over two
decades.
decades
Yeah,
because it's 2020 right now when we're recording this. And I mean,
say he started
if
in
he came out in
98,
'98,
22 years. So yeah, he's on his third decade pretty much.
yeah.
Uh,
So I cannot agree with that,
yeah.
Mr. Eduardo.
Okay, and the next one comes from Joe's House 50 Mayo. He says Polo G is and will stay the best new rapper for a while.
Well, how long is he going to be considered a new rapper? Are we talking first couple years, like 2 or 3 years, or
I feel like you're a new rapper until you drop your second album, I guess. So like, Kendrick Lamar, he dropped Section 80, then he dropped Good Kid Mad City. and boom, that went off. Polo G, he dropped The GOAT. Once he dropped his new album,
Well,
he's
if
not
we're
gonna be
talking
new.
about just before a second album, no. Like, I'm sorry, I couldn't agree with that.
Well, I don't know. Is and will stay the best new rapper for a while? That's true. That's like worded so weird. I didn't really think about it
It's
till now.
Well, yeah, the wording makes it difficult because
Okay,
depending on how you view the wording, if we're going off your stuff, he might not be a new rapper much longer.
yeah.
If we're going
Okay.
off like,
Let's say this then. Out of the new generation and generations to come, so I think he's saying like not counting the Kendrick Lamars, the J Cole's, and everyone before that.
so just among more of the younger
Yeah, the
guys.
younger ones.
Well, I can't agree with that then.
Me neither. Roddy Rich.
Roddy Rich, again, might be a little biased. YBN Corday, uh,
Okay, here's the
this
thing.
new dude, Jack Harlow, I think he's got
Ooh,
potential.
Don Toliver, After Party. Oh, I love that song. But okay, here's the thing. Joey Badass. He's been out for a while, but the dude's like 23, 24. Is he a new rapper or no?
Yeah, no. If he's 23, no. He's young. He's still got that potential to be considered new. He deserves to be in that new conversation. If
Okay.
he's like 28, 29, that's when it starts getting more iffy for me.
Let me see how old he actually is. I know he's young. He is 25 actually. Ooh, he's washed.
I mean, he's still got potential. I mean,
That's
that's still
true.
young
Uh,
because I mean, you got to think about it. Like guys like Joyner Lucas are already 30.
ain't yeah, the baby's like 30 as well, ain't he?
I think he's like 28. I
Uh,
think.
yeah,
Hold
and
on.
he's considered new too. So yeah.
Yeah, the
But
baby's
see,
28.
the thing
So,
with Joey Badass though is he's already had like two like studio projects like official. He had a All American Badass like in 2017. By the way, you need to drop a new album, Joey. And he had a what's that called? Before the Money back in 2015. So like, these
but
are
I mean,
actual albums.
but I mean, assuming some of these people don't like get arrested, because some of them might. Uh, some people I think could be better if we're counting him as new still, since it's kind of a loose term. Uh, Lil Baby, he's like I think 24. I think. Uh, you got NLE Choppa, who I think is like 18, 19 years old. Uh, Young Boy, Roddy, like there's a bunch of young guys. So
Mm,
I think it's difficult to just say,
yeah,
especially with a loose wording like that.
this is probably something you have to revisit like in 2 years, see like where they go, because like it's like the whole Roddy Rich Chance the Rapper thing. Like there, he's still young. You don't know what his next
Well,
move will
yeah,
be.
yeah, no, he could easily become like the next DaBaby because
Mm,
he's got one of those flows where I think it just works and everybody likes.
yeah,
So he could easily become the next big thing in rap and stay there. But it's the same thing I say with Roddy Rich. Roddy Rich has all the potential in the world, but it doesn't matter until you do it.
yeah.
So,
Okay, and the last one comes from our good friend again, Young Airy Gold, and I know you're gonna disagree with this. I'm gonna disagree with this. I feel like a lot of people would disagree with this, except for like the big fans from this artist. He says J. Cole is better than Kendrick. Nope. 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 Nope.
that
Nope. Nope.
falls into another one of those things of wording.
Okay. Or
Are we
like,
talking a
I
better
guess just I'm
lyricist, a
just
better rapper, or a better?
well, he just said is better than Kendrick, so I'm assuming like it's an all around, I guess rapper you could say,
Oh, if we're doing
artist,
all
I
around,
guess.
no.
No, it doesn't like I don't think in any aspect either. I think Kendrick is better than J. Cole
Because
in every single
here's
aspect.
how I look at it. I don't think their discographies are even close when it
Oh,
comes.
absolutely not.
Like, if you tell me they have similar quality discographies, I'm gonna look at you crazy.
Okay, like here's the thing: if you take Kendrick's discography and J. Cole's discography and combine them, guess what? To Pimp a Butterfly is one, or Good Kid, Mad City is one, and then the other one's two. At three, maybe you can put in Forest Hills Drive, but then you also got Damn and Section 80, which are also very, very good. So, like, essentially the top 5 albums, like, if you combine their discography, 4 of those are Kendrick's.
Yeah, I know. I mean, Kendrick, in terms of being able to make hits, I think he's better than J. Cole. I think both are about equal when it comes to lyricism. I'll give them that. J. Cole can hang with Kendrick when it comes to like the content of his words.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Um, I think Kendrick is a better. I think, and I'm saying this kind of loosely. I think Kendrick has a better ear for production than J. Cole does because there have been a lot of J. Cole beats where I'm like wondering why he picked them. I just think if you gave me 15 categories between Kendrick and J. Cole comparing the two, I think Kendrick comes extremely close to sweeping J. Cole.
I agree with that. I've seen this on Twitter so many times. A lot of people say J. Cole is a better storyteller than Kendrick Lamar. I'm like, what in the world are you talking about? Sing About Me. What's it called? What was that? That song, the intro to not the intro. It was the Art of Peer Pressure. Actually, yeah, the intro to Good Kid, Mad City as well. How Much a Dollar Cost. Duckworth. Like all these songs, like I don't think J. Cole's had a song that's that good at storytelling. I mean, some people
And I mean,
might bring up, oh, J. Cole had a boner in math class. Like,
yeah, that I was just about to bring that up.
that's
That's the meme that most people are talking about when it comes to J. Cole's storytelling. It's like Kendrick's talking about being like racially profiled by the police and how it affected him psychologically, and then it's like J. Cole, this girl gave me a boner in math class.
okay. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Back in 2014, when the album dropped, I was like what 16, 17. I thought that was cool. I thought that song was cool. Looking back at it now, yeah, nah. Because I feel
It's a
like
catchy song,
because I feel like
but
back
don't tell
then.
me that's a great story.
Yeah, because like back then, when you're younger, like you're starting to experience, all that stuff. But like now that you're older, it's like, what the fuck?
But I mean, I don't even think, and this is all biases aside, I don't even think that Kendrick, or not Kendrick, I don't even think J. Cole has a song as good as Kendrick's God is Gangsta. I don't think he has a storytelling song that good.
I don't. Yeah, I just think Kendrick's all around better. Like,
So that is again, I put that opinion of J. Cole over Kendrick in the same category. I'd put that Jay-Z is overrated because I thoroughly disagree with that.
I mean, we're not saying Cole is bad. I just think Kendrick has the potential to be the best to ever do it. I think if Kendrick drops one more like good project, good to great project, maybe even a classic, I think he should be considered the greatest of all time in hip hop.
If he drops another classic to the like quality of Damn, Pimp a Butterfly, or Good Kid, Mad City, absolutely, he should be number one.
Here's the sad thing, though, bro. I think Kendrick Lamar's career is coming to an end. I think Kendrick Lamar's next project could possibly be his last. And I think once Kendrick retires, he's going to disappear. Like, you're not going to hear from Kendrick Lamar ever again.
How old is Kendrick?
I think he's like 31, 32, but I just don't see him like making music for much longer.
Okay, so I just looked it up. He's 33.
Oh, yeah. Like, I feel
He's
like
younger than
Kendrick,
J. Cole is.
yeah, I feel like he's gonna like go chill with his wife and his new daughter, like be a family guy and just chill. I think his career is nearing the end. I don't think he's gonna have much else to talk about.
Oh, I could definitely see that happen. But then again, I could also see him go for another 10 years.
I hope.
So,
I hope. Well, see, the thing is, if Kendrick goes for another 10 years, that's like 2 more Kendrick albums.
Yeah, that's why I said 10. Because at that point, he's 43, which would put him at the same age as Kanye now. Um, the only reason I would be leaning more towards Kendrick hanging it up before then is because what I was saying earlier of people saying he's the Michael Jordan of rap, where he hasn't missed on a project yet.
Yeah.
I feel like he might look at it like, well, I can go out on top, or I can keep putting stuff out until my stuff doesn't sell and people are calling me washed.
Yeah.
And I'm personally a fan more of people going out on top.
Me too.
But yeah, no, I think it's about time to call this an end to the episode.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We've been going on for like over an hour. I mean, we could sit here and talk hip hop all day. Like
Oh,
we've literally
dude,
done it before.
I could do a full day of nothing but hip hop.
Oh
So,
yeah.
but was there anything you wanted to promote?
Well, actually, this podcast is sponsored by Bimbo. They make empanadas, great empanadas. So go check this. We're not sponsored by Bimbo. No, I don't have any.
Jimbo, you gotta pay us anyway.
Do you
Everybody
have
at Bimbo on Twitter and tell them to pay us.
Yeah, that was like a nice little 10-second ad. Well, I mean, you already plugged our Twitters at the start, so plug our YouTubes. Views of Phoenix on YouTube, Mr. Mediocre on YouTube. Subscribe.
I do want to say I will be uploading some more YouTube videos soon. Like I was saying earlier, been in the process of moving, so I haven't always had internet, so kind of hard to upload with that. But I do have 10 videos mapped out, and I might give y'all a couple at a time. So,
Yes.
Views of Phoenix on YouTube, be on the lookout.
Gotta love it.
But yeah, we'll catch you guys next time.